Race of the 2002 Winston Cup season. There are no playoffs in the Winston Cup Series, just a grueling 36-race schedule that stretches from mid-February to mid-November. Each week after every race, the field of championship contenders is chiseled smaller and smaller until one race will decide the winner of the Winston Cup. We have come to that one race. 2 contenders, 400 miles. And now 3 men that took you to the green flag for the Daytona 500 in February, ready to take you to the checkered flag here in Homestead this afternoon. Alan Bestwick, Wally Dallenbach, and Benny Parsons.
Bill, thank you. We are set to go for the season finale at Homestead. And let's start, where else? The championship. Tony Stewart and Mark Martin, we heard from both of them during the countdown. What are they thinking now? How do they approach this race?
Well, I think for Tony, this is going to be probably one of the easiest races all year because nobody wants to get next to Tony. These competitors don't want to rub fenders with these guys running for the championship. They don't want to be involved in that. So Tony's going to have a lot of room. But if he keeps doing what he's been doing, running good, if he's got a good car, he's going to go to the front. But he's also going to be very smart about it today.
And for Mark Martin, his job couldn't be simpler. He's starting back in the 34th position. Go to the front, try to get there as fast as you possibly can. Lead a lap if possible. Lead the most laps, put all the pressure you can on Tony Stewart to finish the race on the lead lap.
And Mark Martin's got to get from that poor starting spot to the front on a very difficult racetrack. That's the subject of our EA Sports Thunder Motion. BP, this place is tough. Now the Walmart starting grid for today's Ford 400 alongside Kurt Busch on the front row. Dale Earnhardt Jr. trying to squeeze up into 10th place in the final standings. He's 52 points back. Jimmy Spencer and Joe Nemechek in row number 2. Spencer looking for a ride next year. Nemechek signed to one this week. Row 3, Greg Biffle, the NASCAR Busch Series champion, and the man trying to lock up the Winston Cup title today, Tony Stewart.
And back in row 4 on the inside, Jeff Burke, Kenny Wallace on the outside. Let's try talking to Kenny Wallace. Hey, Kenny, Benny Parsons, you got me?
10-4, Benny, I read you.
You guys had that Hills Brothers Dodge in the win the last couple of weeks, huh?
Yeah, Benny, we've been working hard. We've been doing a lot of testing, just trying to bring this Bill Davis car up to a competitive level, compete for a win.
Okay, tell me about the race car today.
Thank you. I think we got a good car today. We'll just have to get going, see how it all turns out. The track's got a lot of rain on it. Should be different.
All right, how soon do you think it's going to be before we can see the green flag and go racing?
Well, I think once we get the front straightaway dried off here from all the drivers' introductions, it looks good everywhere else. Just got to get this front straightaway dried off a little bit, get all the trash off the track.
Okay, show us something today.
Kenny Wallace going to start on the outside of row number 4 in the Bill Davis Racing Hills Brothers Dodge. Mark Martin got to come from row 17 if he's going to overcome Tony Stewart to win the championship. Talk about a tall order. That's the words Mark used to describe it earlier.
Very tough. Kevin Harvick, very good race car back in row 18. And check it out. First time ever, Jeff Gordon a provisional start.
Couple of notes on the lineup you've just looked at. Ryan Newman, scheduled to start 15th, is going to go to the back of the field. His team changed an engine. And Jeffrey Bodine will drive the 26 car today. His brother Todd suffering from some back problems that he's been ran out of gas. 400 miles to decide who will be the NASCAR Winston Cup champion. The green flag is out at Homestead.
Green.
Good so far. Everybody's giving each other a lot of room, BP. And like I said, this racetrack is just really, really slippery, especially at the beginning. You get a lot of heat in your tires.
And Tony Stewart has been able to get to the inside of the racetrack. He's not on the outside, concerned about someone below him getting out of shape.
He fell into line in front of Jeff Burton in 6th position as they complete lap 1. Back in the Hornet's Nest, we find Mark Martin. 31st right now.
Now, Mark obviously is going to be driving a lot more
trouble.
Is that Schrader? No, it's Dave Blaney. Caution's out.
Man, and this team has been doing so well the last few races.
Dave Blaney started today 25th in line. Had his best finish, one of his career best finishes at this racetrack And had a great run at Phoenix last weekend, but it's not going to be long today with that car in that condition, is it?
No, they'll have trouble putting fuel in the car, and he can't run 400 miles without stopping and getting some gas.
Blaney in the championship, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
19th.
19th in points.
And in a tight fight for that spot.
Let's see, there he is, right in the middle. He goes in the corner, and the car just goes around.
Like I said earlier, very, very, very slippery up there. BP, you said in Thunder Motion this morning that if you get up high, no grip.
There's Mark Martin. He sees the 77 go by, but he realizes that he can be long gone on the inside before anything, the 77 comes back.
So Mark and Stewart both through the early trouble, and we're under caution just a couple of laps in here in the Ford 400. 2 laps complete. Kurt Busch, the early leader. Coming down to the restart here at Homestead, Mark Martin talking to his team a minute ago.
Y'all didn't change gears, did you?
Nope, same gear.
Man, this thing's making some RPMs right now.
Wow. Well, that 40 car, I know, pulled down there to avoid maybe a collision with the 17 car, but I believe he passed a few cars before the start-finish line.
If he did, he will be getting the black flag next time.
He would be. The word's gone out on the NASCAR radio channel. Post the 40. Put his number up on that board at the start-finish line and show him the black flag.
Tony Glover
Next time, clear all around.
giving him the bad news.
And the reason he has to do it next time by is because they use an access road to get onto and off the pit road here. It's at the entrance to turn 3. You can't just come into the pit road off the racetrack in turn 4, so he's going to go around again.
Yeah, Tony Stewart got penalized for crossing the grass to that road right there, and that possibly could have cost him the race last year.
Yep, or he might be 3 for 3 here. So McMurray is going to give up 10th spot for his stop-and-go penalty. There's that access road we were talking about. Up front, Kurt Busch is leading. 20th race this season. He's been out in front, and the 7th straight week that Kurt Busch has led the race.
And there's Mark Martin in heavy traffic as he comes off battling with the 19 car. That's a battle up for about 27th, 28th. Put him in 28th that time by.
And as I was saying earlier, when Blaney crashed, Mark's going to be a lot more aggressive than the 20 car because he has to be. 20 car's got to be a little bit more careful, but Mark has nothing to lose here.
So Mark is cleared of some of the traffic now. Next ahead of him will be Terry Labonte in the 5 car that he'll have to get to. You see Terry trying to work the outside of Ricky Craven just in front.
And they knew, Mark and his crew knew that this 6 car, this Viagra car, would not qualify well here at Homestead, Miami. I'm sure they felt like it would qualify in the top 10 or 15, but this is a car that Mark wanted to bring here because it's his favorite car. It's a car that handles well in the race. And Ricky Craven just moved over and said, go ahead, Mark, go on by, like you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. These guys do not want to get in a position where they're even going to race these 2 championship contenders.
Ford has already locked up the NASCAR Winston Cup Manufacturers Championship for this season. You see the victory totals coming into the final race of the year. You know, speaking of guys staying clear of the championship contenders, in the drivers' meeting this morning, the weekly briefing for drivers and crew chiefs 2 hours before race time, NASCAR President Mike Helton, among his remarks, was a warning to all the teams. He said, if anyone attempts to manipulate the outcome of the championship, they will be black flagged by NASCAR and brought to pit road and left to sit a little while to ponder what might be wrong with their car.
And meaning teammates should not get involved with the championship. You know, like, you don't want a team car for Mark Martin holding up the 20 car for any reason. That's what you mean by that.
So Mark's teammates being among them Kurt Busch or Jeff Burton, Tony Stewart's teammate being Bobby Labonte, as the lead changes hands and Dale Jr. goes to the front. So NASCAR said they'll be keeping a careful eye on that situation during the race today.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. in front as he comes off down the front stretch. The fans giving the big salute. All stand up and wave and cheer. Burns, what happened to Blaney down in turn 1?
Well, let's ask him. He drove his car back to the garage here, Benny. Guys are working on it now. Dave, did the track conditions at all play into what happened to you out there?
No. I mean, yeah, it was probably slippery. I should have rode around for 5 laps and seen, but just too aggressive, too quick, and dumb on my part. It just cost me, but short day for the Jasper guys here.
Can they fix it?
We're going to try. We'll see how it goes here.
All right, he's going to take a look and see what they're doing. It's a shame for him. 2 straight top 10s here at Homestead, not today.
Blaney, the only car off the track at the moment. Other 42 on the lead lap. Jamie McMurray did stay in front of the leader, Dale Earnhardt Jr., after his stop-and-go penalty.
Rusty Wallace looking for that victory. What, how many years? It's 16 years?
16 straight years, yeah.
And he has won a NASCAR Winston Cup race here in 2002. Guess what? So far, not a sniff. Well, I say not a sniff. He's gotten a sniff. 2 or 3 laps to go at Bristol. He was leading the race and finished up second. He was second last week at Phoenix.
He's finished second 4 times this season so far. And we've kind of followed the story of Rusty week to week and how frustrated and how much pressure he was putting out there to get that win.
Oh, he's putting a lot of pressure on himself and his crew, trying to make that car absolutely perfect. And you know he's saying right now, little brother, you ought to get out of my way and let me go on. You shouldn't be holding me up. But little brother might not be holding him up at all.
Talked with Rusty earlier in the weekend about the streak. How important is it that he finds a way to win and continue it today?
I'm as focused as I can possibly get. We've had a great car all year long. We should have won so many times this year and had a lot of second places, you know, I can add up. But I'm trying, man. I'm trying to do all I possibly can. We're at a real tough racetrack. It's really, really hard to pass at Homestead. It's the hardest track we go to get a car handling on and to actually race hard on. But I got a good car.
Rusty slipping by Kenny Wallace and picking up that spot just seconds ago. That's 13th place, Dave.
Looks like he's going to lose another spot to Dale Jarrett now. Now, Kenny wouldn't just let Rusty by, but instructions to Wallace, who started right behind championship leader Tony Stewart at the beginning of the race from crew chief Felipe Lopez. They said to Kenny, you know what, if the 20 car happens to miss a shift, you might just want to miss a shift too and not hit him.
Be careful and don't run in the back of the 20 car. And no one did. And Tony Stewart right now is out there cruising around in 7th spot. And running a pretty doggone good speed.
Yeah, Tony has lost a position. Bill Elliott got by him and picked up the 6th spot, so Tony is back to 7th. While Mark Martin continues trying to pick his way through the traffic, he's just taken 24th place away from Ken Schrader. Remember that Mark started 34th, so that's 10 positions he's gained in the opening 17 laps. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads Kurt Busch by 1.4 seconds. 16 of 267 laps complete. Everybody wants to see who will win the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. All the beautiful people are here, even Wally.
He didn't say Benny.
Yeah, well, he talked about the beauty. Well, he did mention bees, didn't he? Yeah.
Joe Nemechek is out in front. As we work toward the 100-mile mark here in Homestead, Mark Martin chasing Tony Stewart for the championship up to 20th place, but he had a moment.
A moment?
A couple of laps ago.
Oh!
Wow, I think John had a moment.
Yeah, John had a moment as he came off the corner, and somehow I guess John's car was pushing worse than Mark's car was pushing.
Any damage to that grill opener?
Yeah, I wonder how much damage it might have done to the nose of the car. It doesn't look like
it really did. I think that was nice and gentle.
Biffle, the 44 car, was up in 4th spot, but starting to lose some spots. This is putting him back to 6th position.
Jimmy Johnson went through a moment ago, and here comes Rusty Wallace in pursuit of the victory that'd keep the string alive. 5th place for Rusty. Marty Biffle sliding back a little bit.
Just a little bit, Alan, a little bit tied off. He started the run for Greg Biffle, but most of these cars are getting tighter the longer they run. That is the case for Greg Biffle as well. The way you want to have your car is start out just a little bit loose, and then it comes to you.
Michael Waltrip working on Greg Biffle now. Remember, Michael finished 2nd in this race last year. Biffle coming to pit road.
Yeah.
That's early. That's awfully early. Marty, we expected to see most of these guys a little after lap 60, maybe up to lap 65, but this is only 55, and here comes Biffle.
Kind of surprising. These guys have not been getting very good fuel mileage all year long. I know that, but this is a lot earlier than we thought we would see people. In fact, I just talked to Gary Putman, his crew chief, and he said everything was fine other than the tight condition. But the 2002 Busch Series champion, making his 7th Winston Cup Series start, slides to a stop in his pit stall. The Georgia Pacific guys will go to work again. He is tight. Gets tighter the longer he runs. Very, very early, a lot earlier than we thought we'd see cars on pit road. They do make an air pressure adjustment, trying to loosen up Greg Biffle in the 44 car.
Well, great pit stop, but here comes John Andretti, another petty car down pit road.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in the second place car. I was just going to say maybe it's not as early as we thought, because Bill Earnhardt Jr. is already in.
And some of these guys were talking about stopping later. I'm a little surprised to see Junior in, but some are having their hands forced by seeing other fast cars pit early here. Just 55 laps on the board. No changes on this stop for Dale Earnhardt Jr. A lot of brake dust kicked out. Tony Eury Jr. around to the left front. You can see all the brake dust on these wheels as they're yanked off. So Junior gets 4 tires of fuel and goes back out after just 55 laps.
They weren't going to run that car out of fuel this week.
No, they're not like they did last week. When these cars make pit stops, folks, I want to watch the right rear tire. When that right side goes down, you'll see Marty.
Johnny Vincent on pit road, and this is the first stop at Homestead for Bobby Burrell, the front tire changer. Remember, involved in that accident here at Homestead last year and was changing tires for Ricky Rudd. He makes the stop very cleanly, very safe stop this time. Vincent a little bit tight, took a pound down the right front, trying to loosen him up.
If you were with us on our coverage of this race 1 year ago, the horrible accident at the end of pit road when a collision between Casey Atwood and Ward Burton sent Ward's car through what was then Ricky Rudd's pit crew. Bobby Burrell, the tire changer, spent weeks in a hospital with a fractured skull. John Bryan, the jackman, had a concussion and a leg injury as well. They're both back here working on separate cars today at Homestead. Dave?
Now the 23 car of Kenny Wallace was tight. They changed 4 tires, made an air pressure adjustment to fix that.
A lot of pit stops here.
I'll tell you what, once they started coming down pit road, everybody started screaming, make my car good too. Put me some fresh tires on. Make me an adjustment.
And here comes the leader, Joe Nemechek. Stop is going to be as he completes lap 58. It'll turn the top spot in the race over to Kurt Busch. Tony Stewart is also on pit road behind the leader, Nemechek. Matt?
And Joe Nemechek, 45 miles per hour down pit road. His car was a little snug at both ends. He almost slides to a stop there. They were not going to make any adjustments. And then 3 laps ago, he says, I'm just too tight in the center of the corner. They're going to adjust with air pressure as they come around to the left side of the car. The 20 car of Tony Stewart is on his way down to you, Bill.
Ryan Newman is on pit road. A chassis adjustment wedge on both sides, 4 tires and fuel. Championship leader Tony Stewart is also on pit road. He is getting too much bite. They want to take some of the forward bite out of the car. He's tight in the center. It's a wedge adjustment and a track bar adjustment that they had talked about on the radio. 4 tires and fuel. Tony's on his way.
Tony was pointing at something there. I couldn't tell if one of his windshield tore off, but you could see his hand pointing out the window. He was trying to tell him something.
Matt?
Well, Betty, Rusty Wallace comes to a stop. They know this is their last shot to keep that streak alive. Rusty was running in the top 10, his car tight. In fact, he came on the radio at one point as they're going to adjust the car in this stop and try to free it up. Marty.
34th to 18th for the man in second in the championship standings, Mark Martin. 3 rounds of wedge into the right side. The car very tight. They also take a pound out of the left rear tire. That should loosen up Mark Martin. Drastic changes for this team, desperate to win a championship. Matt?
And Jimmy Johnson, his team waving him to his pit stall. They're going to make a chassis adjustment. He was having trouble trying to get the car through the corner. You can see the wrench going in the back window. This will be a 4-tire change, just way too tight. As they come around to the left side, Shane Parse now goes to work on the left front. And we're completed, Dave.
Jeff Gordon has worked his way up in the field, Matt. His car was tight in the center and loose off. They made a chassis adjustment to fix that. Fuel is good. Catch can man waving. Jeff leaves pit road.
About a second slow on Jeff Gordon.
Whoa, watch it, boys.
Oh, Jeff Burton and Jeff Gordon almost get together.
Burton just coming in. He was up to second spot by staying out on track. Names in gold on the top of your screen on the ticker. Those are the people who've already made their pit stops. Those still listed in white have not yet come in.
Looks yellow to me. Looks like BP.
Let's see. Did he say green?
He said gold.
I said gold.
Oh, yeah, well, it's yellow or gold. I get a mixture.
You're such a clown.
Yes, I am.
I'll sit on the fence and say it's a mixture. Kurt Busch
is the leader. Kurt Busch in. Just shy of 100 miles for his first pit stop of the day. Bill?
Well, Kurt Busch has a long trip down pit road. He has the #1 pit stall here at Homestead, the same pit stall that Ricky Rudd had 1 year ago. He slides to a stop into his stall. They go around to the right side. They're going to make a track bar adjustment here. His car just a little bit loose is what he's reporting. So expect to see the track bar. The bridge is already in there. Around to the left side. They do make the adjustment. That's a pretty big adjustment. A couple of rounds looks like he put in there, and Kurt Busch heads back out.
So as the cycle of pit stops is completed, it's going to hand the lead back to Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's going to come out ahead of Joe Nemechek. Dave, how about Matt Kenseth?
He was on and off pit road, Alan. A good pit stop for them. They made a track bar adjustment. The car was loose. They hope that will correct it. It was so loose they thought they had a tire going down, but Matt rode it out.
Marty, what about the tire issues on Mark Martin's car?
BP, Mark Martin pitted on lap 59. This is the right front tire off of Mark Martin's car. You can see it is down to the cords right there. Goodyear engineers were a little bit concerned because the rain washed the rubber off the racetrack. There were some problems earlier this week on Thursday with the Truck Series. They were doing this to their tires earlier this week, but they thought the rubber had cured that problem. Rain washed the rubber off, and this is the result. 59 laps to the cords on Mark Martin's right front tire.
Hey, that's all right. You're using it all.
They're using every bit of the tire. And that's one reason we saw all those cars pit. They can run farther than that on fuel. But the start felt that right front tire start sliding across the racetrack. They knew, they experienced enough, they realized the tire was shot. They had to go in the pits.
Mark in 23rd position now, racing Kevin Harvick and Elliott Sadler for 22nd and 24th. And using every bit of pavement that's at the bottom of that racetrack. Dale Earnhardt Jr. stopped 4 laps earlier than Joe Nemechek. Those 4 laps on fresher tires have put him back out in front of Nemechek into the lead. Dale Jarrett runs 3rd. Remember, he took 2 tires on a green flag stop earlier back at lap 21. He's not made a round of stops in this cycle yet, hoping for a caution that might get him back in sync with everybody else. Then you've got Greg Biffle, Jimmy Johnson, and Mike Skinner. Skinner, who stopped earlier under the first yellow back at lap 3, he'll be in the next few laps.
It's good stuff, Marty, because I'm surprised they didn't take 2 for the track position either.
6 teams did. Joe Nemechek, Jimmy Johnson, Rusty Wallace, Matt Kenseth, Jeff Burton,
green flag.
Jimmy Spencer. Then you've got Michael Waltrip next in line.
Wow. Jeff Gordon on the inside of Nemechek. The 24 car is a lap down, and Kenseth way up the racetrack in 1 and 2.
Oh, contact. Benson and Rusty Wallace there. Rusty saves it. And look at this.
They're still trying to wreck.
Somebody's up in the wall or close to it. Was that Jeff Burton?
Yeah, 99 car is off the pace. This is where things get ticklish if you're Mark Martin or Tony Stewart.
There's Jeff Burton. Maybe he didn't hit anything, but
and the 30 car is very slow off turn 4 in front of the field. Look at all these cars trying to dodge Jeff Green.
Tony Stewart.
We do not have a flat. We do not have a flat.
And Mark Martin was way off the pace going into turn 3. He's dropped several positions in this last lap. Looked like he was just being careful. He's dropped back toward the end of the lead lap cars. And now he's trying to move. Mark is one of those guys way down at the bottom of the track. Look at this. What a mess. Okay, Tony Stewart is 11th. Check Mark Martin. He is 18th. Having just gotten by Bobby Hamilton, now Mark is 17th. He tiptoed his way into turn 3 on that restart, swung to the bottom of all those cars, and then started passing them all. So he just did not want to be on the outside. What do you think? Shall we regroup and show all this again?
Man, I'd like to see it again.
to see it again.
Okay.
Yeah. Some exciting stuff.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, there we go in the corner, 3 wide.
Let's see.
Kenseth gets a little boot from the 99 car of Jeff Burton. And Burton backs off the gas to avoid hitting him and has trouble getting back on the throttle up in that high line.
Well, both of these guys have a lot of rubber and debris on their tires right now, so it's hard to get back up to speed quickly.
So Jeff Gordon, tail end of the lead lap in front of leader Joe Nemechek. Let's check back for 9th place. Matt Kenseth and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Remember Earnhardt Jr. leading this race earlier, but got 4 tires on his stop, and a lot of guys who only took 2 are now in front of him. Kevin Harvick with just the right side tires on that pit stop.
As we saw yesterday, it looked like in the Busch race, the guys that took 2 could maintain their speed for about the first 30 or 40 laps, but then the guys that took 4 just gobbled them up. So it's going to take a while for the 4 tire change, I think, to really show.
And we heard the report from Marty earlier. That would have been an ideal spot for the 16 to try and take the 2 tires.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I really don't understand why they didn't try to do that. Well, again, he said, let's do it. But all the guys were talking on the radio. He couldn't get that in. And the crew thinking he wanted 4 tires. That's what they did. And Jeff Green, we saw him slow. He thought he had a flat tire. But once he got his car back up to speed, it does seem to be okay now. He did not make a pit stop.
Earnhardt Jr. and Kenseth, 9th place here. And Kevin Harvick in front of them in 8th. Remember last weekend at Phoenix, Matt Kenseth took just 2 tires on a late pit stop at lap 264. 312 made up that race. He set the fastest lap of the race on just 2 tires just after that restart.
There's Rusty Wallace trying to get by Michael Waltrip for 5th position. I'll tell you what, if Rusty Wallace wins this race, we'll see the greatest burnout of mankind.
Yeah.
He'll melt all the rear tires, both rear tires.
There's Rusty's gap up to leader Joe Nemechek. A lot at stake for Rusty today. Not only the streak that he's talked so much about, but again, he's locked in that tight fight for 3rd in the championship. He could finish as high as 3rd. He could fall as low as 8th at the end of the day. So things have settled out a little bit since that restart. Tony Stewart running in 11th position now. And Mark Martin is just a little bit behind him in 17th and trying to catch the 22 car of Ward Burton for another position. It's all going on behind Joe Nemechek, leading Jimmy Johnson by 1.9 seconds, 87 of 267 laps complete. From Homestead, Florida, it's the Ford 400. The race for the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship ongoing at Homestead Miami Speedway in Florida. Joe Nemechek leads the Ford 400. Trouble, turn 2. Michael Waltrip is in the wall. Martin and Stewart made it through. And the caution flag is out.
Jeff get his lap back.
Looks like Ryan Newman also. Did Ryan Newman get a lap back as well?
They are going to check the camera at the start-finish line, Benny, the photo finish camera to see. But Jeff Gordon definitely did. So that puts 23 cars on the lead lap, possibly a 24th.
Our computers are saying for Newman, but we'll see what the camera shows us.
Computers being the telemetry scoring with the radio transmitters on each of the cars.
He's got our left front down. I don't know if he did that from locking the brakes up before he hit the wall or...
Michael Waltrip.
Everything's flat.
Yeah, Michael finished 2nd in this race a year ago. Thought he had a pretty good car for today. Not going to work out. Leaders coming to pit road.
Maybe a little nudge from the 40 car.
Yeah, looks like Jamie McMurray might have gotten into him back in the middle of the corner. And Not good.
Not good.
It's a wonder we don't see more of that.
See all that debris up there? All that rubber and dirt?
All right. Hasn't been long since the last set of pit stops. Who'll get 2 this time, Dave?
Alan, it won't be Matt Kenseth, last week's winner. They will get 4. Car's still a little bit loose, so they'll make another track bar adjustment. Take some air pressure out of the right rear. Marty?
And it won't be Mark Martin either, Dave. They're going to go with 4 tires again. They're gaining on it. He said the car's still a little bit tight, but I like what we're doing. 1 round to wedge in, Matt.
The leader, Nemechek, is in, and he is out of 2-tire change. They were going to go for 4. Joe Nemechek made the call himself. Bill.
Tony Stewart on pit road, a little snug in the center, make a small chassis adjustment. Again, they thought about 2 tires. Zipadelli said 4. Stewart said, I'm not going to disagree with you. Conservative early here, he's on his way.
Nemechek, Rusty Wallace, Greg Biffle, I believe Earnhardt Jr. and Dale Jarrett all just got 2 tires and got off pit road very quickly. Harvick, I think, as well. So let's take a break. They're cleaning up after Michael Waltrip's crash out in turn number 2. We're coming up on 150 miles in the Ford 400 at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Welcome back to the Homestead Miami Speedway. The Sun trying to break through under caution here after 99 laps with Joe Nemechek leading the field. Let's go back in the garage and check with Dave Burns.
And standing by with Michael Waltrip while they work on his car, conferring with a Winston Cup official right now. Michael, what contributed to the contact and the accident out there?
Just ridiculous conditions to race in. The apron is the low line and the groove is the high line. Anything above that is gravel. And it's embarrassing to try to put on a race at a track like this. You have no options. You know, you just try to squeeze as low as you can. And I just got up a little bit higher than I should have and spun out. The Napa Auto Parts, Ritz Crackers, Klausner Furniture, Chevy was good. But I made a mistake. But darn, you know, it's a shame when you make a mistake by foot and pay for it with a rear clip. It's just a terrible track to try to have a race on.
Michael, did you feel a tap from the rear from the 40 car?
No, I didn't. I knew I was in trouble because I was just a foot offline, and then I spun out. I don't know. It wasn't the 40 car's fault. It's just the fact that we're trying to. It's like racing on an old country road, dirt road. I feel like those dudes on the Rally Channel.
And his car looks like one that did a tumble on the Rally Channel. Bill.
Okay, obviously Michael Waltrip very frustrated about the racing conditions here at Homestead. On the pit box with Greg Zipadelli, the crew chief for Tony Stewart, talking to his driver a little bit. Your day has gone fairly smoothly so far.
Yeah, it's pretty calm. We haven't had any problems. Our car's a little tight in the center, but we're going to keep working on Home Depot Pontiac, see if we can get it to Tony's liking, and maybe we can get it back up in the top 5. Right now, we give up a little bit of track position both times, putting 4 tires on, but we've got too much to lose. Track position it's important, but it's not that important to us right now. So we're going to stick to our game plan, and you know, we still got a long ways to go.
And you and Tony on the same page through all of this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We talked about it, and we got to do whatever we can to protect ourselves, and you know, keep 4 good years on this thing all day, and hopefully we get some long runs here. It'll pay off for us.
Before the race, Greg Zipadelli is the man that Tony Stewart said is not getting enough credit in the run for their championship. Matt. Marty?
And Ben Leslie is Mark Martin's crew chief, sitting in 15th right now. You've made wholesale changes today, 7 rounds of wedge in, air pressure adjustments everywhere. Has it helped, Ben?
Yeah, he's pretty happy with the car right now. That last run before the caution flag, he was real happy with the car, making some gains on the track. Track position has been one of our biggest problems. The car was off a little bit from start. We needed to loosen the car up some. But the biggest battle has been track position right now. I feel like we're pretty close on the chassis, and we got us a little bit of track position. The guys done an awful great job in the pits today, and we'll see how it shakes out.
And track position is one of their battles. They wished now they would have taken those 2 tires. Bill?
Race 36 of the NASCAR Winston Cup season. Tony Stewart started the season finishing 43rd in the Daytona 500. 22nd or better today, he's the champ.
When I was a kid, me and my daddy had to paint the family race car. We only had 2 cans of paint. We didn't have enough of each one, so we just poured it together, and it came out petty blue. And I guess that's the way family traditions get started. We Petties have a holiday tradition, too. Linda and the kids mix together Chex cereal with some good stuff, and they wind up making some Chex Party Mix. Anytime we Petties find something good, we stick with it. Blue Christmas. The original Chex Party Mix.
Just another look at the incident that put us under caution.
Yeah, and you know, I talked about Jamie McMurray getting into Michael Waltrip, and that's where I thought it was right there. But Michael said he didn't think he got hit, and when we watched the replay, again, I don't think that McMurray did make contact with the 15 car.
So Michael Waltrip in the garage, McMurray a lap down in 26th place, and Joe Nemechek out in front as we go back under green. Ooh, Rusty Wallace up out of the groove.
And watch how much this is going to cost.
Junior gets bounced off of by McMurray.
He's going to have a lot. Talking about that debris earlier, and they had the blowers out there a little while ago trying to help that situation.
And now we've got him 3 wide going then to turn 3.
And he still doesn't have his tires clean, believe me.
And Rusty is still high on the racetrack, losing position after position.
Got some damage to that left front fender, too.
Yeah, you know he does. Junior may have some to, I guess it was the rear of Junior's car that made contact, wasn't it?
Yes.
Right rear.
Rusty was second last lap. This lap, he's 9th.
Wow, look at everybody sliding around out there.
I hadn't heard anybody talking about any pavement problems this weekend, so that's just all rubber debris from the tires.
It's just a rubber coming off the tires. It just rolls up in little balls, and they're all over the racetrack.
Second place now for Junior as he's through Kevin Harvick.
Let's check this out going down in turn 1.
And watch Rusty gets down in the corner. He just slides up a little bit into that area that we're talking about. Just catches the right rear of Dale Earnhardt Jr. But like I said, once you get that on your tires, it takes about a lap and a half here to get him off.
Let's go on board with Rusty Wallace and listen.
Inside, 2 inside, 3 inside.
Watch it, Stewart.
Inside, 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 inside.
That's a lot of insides.
Double row inside.
And he was completely on the backstretch before he could finally get the throttle down to the floorboard.
And at some point, he just wants to hit the radio button and say to the spotter, quiet.
Look at the damage. He's got a tremendous amount of damage to that left front.
Yes, he does. I think he probably came out the worst of it. We haven't looked at Junior's car yet, but that left front fender means a lot here at Homestead.
Well, he got back around Ricky Rudd, so Rusty is up to 8th place. But yeah, look at that.
Whenever you damage those fenders like that, you're taking away downforce from the car most of the time. When you take away downforce from the car, you're taking away stick from those front tires.
And especially at a flat track, you need all of it you can get.
Spencer Harvick down in turn 1 and Biffle right behind Spencer.
That was close.
And this is for 3rd place, BP. Look at Johnson.
On the apron of the racetrack, trying to look on the inside of Biffle.
Nemechek leads. Earnhardt Jr. is 2nd. This is for 3rd. Jimmy Spencer in his final drive in this 41 car for Chip Ganassi Racing.
And it's tough to make an outside pass here at Homestead.
A little contact with Harvick, and Biffle's going to go by them both. Here comes Jimmy Johnson.
And Dale Jarrett trying to look on the inside of Harvick.
See how that car turned when the 48 car got on that apron, and it got sideways instantly.
Remember, Dale Jarrett had a flat tire back at lap number 21, stopped under the green. The cycle of pit stops worked out to where he was back on the lead lap when the caution came out at lap 75, and now he's back in the hunt for the win today.
And Harvick was one of those guys who took 2 tires, right?
Yep,
Alan?
yep, sure was. Let me give you the list for that in a minute. First, Dave Burns is standing by at the medical center in the infield. Dave, we saw that pit fire in Bobby Labonte's cruise area earlier. You got an update for us?
Yeah, I've just checked with team members coming out. They say Peter is fine. Susan, he wants you to know he's okay. Just treating some minor burns on his neck right now.
It's Peter Jellin, the gas man for the 18 team, so that's good news.
Unfortunately, those guys wear, you know, almost the same stuff the drivers wear now. It's fireproof clothing, so that's definitely saved them.
And I was thinking about how long ago was it that they started it? It wasn't 10 years ago that those guys just wore uniforms down there, and that would have been a severe burn to Peter Jellin. But now the teams use those uniforms, and we can very glad to say that superficial burns or minor burns.
You can catch on fire for a little while.
Yeah, exactly.
Not get burned too bad.
Watching Tony Stewart work on Rusty Wallace for 10th spot. Kurt Busch got by Rusty a minute ago. And now maybe the fender problem is going to start to show themselves.
Yeah, that car's got to be tight. I would be very surprised if that 2 car doesn't get to the point where he has a hard time turning that car, because it's going to be pushing. It won't turn in the corners.
You know, we haven't talked about Ward Burton, that 22 car, much today, but he started back in 26th place. Here he is taking 11th spot away from Rusty Wallace. That's a pretty solid run.
Hey, Frank. Marty, what's those guys saying down the 22 pit?
He busted up the Golden Benny. That's why he got all the good luck, BP. It had all the good luck inside of it and brought it all out to Frankie and those guys. Seriously, the car very good for Ward Burton, and they have been excellent all day long. Starts a little bit loose, and that's what you want here, because it gets tighter the longer he runs. Really comes to him, Bill.
Concern in the pit of Dale Earnhardt Jr. A few laps ago, right after the restart, he said, sounds like I might have a miss in the engine. They talked about changing over to the second ignition. They decided not to do that. He tried to explain the sound. He held the mic open on the radio when he went along the front stretch. The spotter says it does sound like it could be a valve spring going bad, but so far he stayed out there. Hasn't said much the last couple of laps, but they are watching this car very closely.
Hey, Bill, I wonder if maybe that front fender caught the headers when Rusty and that 8 car got together, and maybe loosened up the pipes a little bit, and that's what the sound may be.
That could be a possibility. Obviously, while they're just trying to listen to Earnhardt, now talking about the battery and the alternator as well. They want him to look at the voltmeter to see what it says. He says it reads about 14 or so, but a lot of concern with that car and that drive.
That is if the pipes are coming out the right side. I can't see it.
I think they are, that the tailpipe's coming out.
Voltmeter's still up, I get it off. I'll keep it. But if it helped, it would just leave it off.
Because where those guys hit is right where those headers or the tailpipes come out, and if you do some contact there, it may loosen something up,
and it will change the tone of the engine, which makes the driver feel like that you lost a cylinder.
How about Greg Biffle, 3rd place in that 44 car?
Good run.
What a job. And Jimmy Johnson working on him.
I think Allen put the curse on the Greg Biffle car, because that 48's fast right now.
Allen puts curses on a lot of things around here.
The line that popped into my head was mostly my own career sitting next to you, but that's okay. In all seriousness, Kyle Petty has talked for a year and a half anyway about rebuilding Petty Enterprises a little bit at a time. Here's one of their cars running well all day long here at this racetrack, and what a way to cap the season it would be for them.
And Biffle had a good run at Rockingham when he drove that car. He was running, I don't know, top 15. And run out of gas with 2 laps to go or something.
Look at that 48 car.
That was a moment.
That was a moment.
Glove
and he's
save.
been doing that every lap. He's been doing that every lap, getting down on that apron. I just wonder if his car's not tight and he's doing that on purpose. Now, Biffle was under that white line all day yesterday in that Busch car. He made it work for him in that Busch race.
He still is in the Worcester Cup race. I see as he came off turn 4 completely on the apron.
Joe Nemechek is absolutely running away from the field after this restart. He is 4.5 seconds ahead of 2nd place Dale Earnhardt Jr. The only guy that can stay with him is Johnny Benson, the first car a lap down. Joe Nemechek's team telling him he's fastest on the racetrack.
Car's driving good, guys. Just trying to take care of it.
You guys been doing a great job in the pits, too. Joe, nobody can run with you, buddy, unless they make some unbelievable adjustments. You just take care of that thing.
I know we got to get 4 tires here sometime, but he's driving good.
That was Rick, wasn't it?
Voice of Rick Hendrick, the owner of the 25 car. Well, actually, the son of the owner of the car.
Right, Papa
Joe's.
What's going on, Matt?
Well, I spoke with Peter Suspenzo, the crew chief. The way their cycle is running now, they're going to take 4 tires on their next stop, so that way they can take 2 on the one after that.
Well, that if it works out for them, that's be a great move. But the guys that took 4 can get away with taking 2 maybe this time and get a lot of track position.
Here comes Jimmy Johnson on Greg Biffle for 3rd. What's going on there?
Yeah, there must have been a little bit of ugliness we missed.
Dale Jarrett in the mix also.
Lose 2 spots there.
Oh, Johnson did it again. See him riding that car sideways?
And I'll tell you what, DJ in that 88 car, DJ in that 80 car is fast right now.
Wally, we didn't miss it.
We didn't miss it? No, we missed it up here. Here we go. Let's watch. 48 gets in the back of the 44, moves him up, and that's why we saw the move on the straightaway when they got very close together. I've been in that situation before.
Last week, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Make you mad?
Yes, it did.
Surprised. So Jimmy Johnson with the bump and run at 100-something miles an hour. Moves to third position. Dale Jarrett to fourth. Jimmy Spencer to fifth. And Greg Biffle back to sixth. It's all going on well behind Joe Nemechek. He's moved out in front by 5.4 seconds in the Ford 400 at Homestead on NBC. Jimmy Johnson is the leader of the Ford 400 just past the midway point in the season-ending race for the NASCAR Winston Cup Series at Homestead, Florida. Our NBCSports.com online poll talked about during Discover Card Countdown to Green. Which of these items should NASCAR consider its priority for possible changes going into the 2003 season?
And people hate those restrictor plates, don't they?
Yeah.
Man, they just hate those. And that's something that can be changed.
A lot of people sure tune into those races, though.
Been following the championship race for you all the way, as well as that close race for the third position in the final standings. Check it out as they run. 4 of those 8 positions have changed hands. Kurt Busch started today third. Jimmy Johnson started today fourth. Ryan Newman started today 7th. Jeff Gordon is where he was. Rusty Wallace started today 5th. Junior had moved into the top 10 earlier when he was leading. Now that he's got his problems, he has fallen back again outside that the cut that makes the stage at the awards night on December 6th.
Chariots with 4 horses. Try 700. NASCAR Thunder 2003. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
And about 15 laps away from what we should see, well, actually about maybe 10 or 11 laps away, Bill, from green flag pit stops, including for the championship leader.
Absolutely right, and a lot of that depends on who you ask. You could be right on both counts, Alan, 11 and 15. Stewart's probably a little closer to the 15. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. He is tight in the center and loose off. He told Zippy they need to leave the entry alone, free it up in the center, and tighten it up off. A few laps went by, then he said, let's fix the forward bite. And they're going to try and do that with air pressure in about 14 or 15 laps or a little shorter. Let's go to Marty Snyder on the guy running second in the standings, Mark Martin.
Bill, about the same time window for Mark Martin coming into pit. You kind of get the feeling down here in the Martin camp, the realization starting to set in that they do need some help from Tony Stewart. As he goes around Ryan Newman to the inside in turn 1, they're going to need some help from Tony Stewart to win this championship. They're doing all they can down here. The car, again, has now gotten loose for Mark. It's getting looser the longer he runs. They're talking about a track bar, maybe a wedge adjustment, but they really need some help at this point.
Mark Martin running back in 17th place. Tony Stewart ahead of him in 14th. Remember, Tony Stewart came into the day with an 89-point gap advantage. Mark needs to finish many positions in front of Tony to turn that around.
Well, he goes into 16th now as he gets by Ricky Rudd.
Of course, if you were not with us yesterday for our NASCAR Busch Series coverage from here at Homestead, the Mark Martin Jack Roush team filed an appeal with the National Stock Car Commission of the 25-point penalty that Mark and Jack Roush received for the illegal left front spring in the aftermath of the Rockingham race. The commission denying that appeal yesterday, leaving the penalty to stand. And so the gap remained the same coming into today's race for Mark. Joe Nemechek and Johnny Benson have been together for a little while here on the racetrack.
Well, Joe has been dropping like an anchor here on those tires, and that just looked like Johnny had to check up because of the 45 car in front of him and got in the back of him.
29's in the pit, Dave.
And Benny, he took on 2 tires, 2 stops in a row. It hurt him. He dropped back to 14. Tony Stewart had just gotten around him. They make a wedge adjustment to try to fix the tight condition, 4 tires and fuel.
see Michael Waltrip has the Napa Chevrolet back on the racetrack.
He did a good job on the back of that.
Yeah, he did.
It's pretty good.
And, you know, we talk about championship standings. Michael is still in a pretty good fight with Ricky Craven for 14th place and Bobby Labonte for 15th, so he's got to get back out there and finish as high as he can.
I didn't see that angle when he first came down.
Yeah, that's right.
I saw kind of about that angle. I said, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, that's cosmetic, right? Spoilers intact, quarter panels intact.
That car will be loose. That car will be loose.
All right, singular call to the pits. He's got Matt Yoakum on the speed dial.
And now the 25 making its long way down pit road. He'd gone 2 straight runs on those left side tires. This will be a 4-tire change. They're short pitting. They just felt like they were losing way too much track position as Nemechek makes his way in. Remember, 2 years ago, this team won the season finale, hoping to do it again. Nemechek came in this car back in May 15th. They're starting to show a lot of promise. The car, though, a little free. They're going to also adjust with air pressure as they come around to the left side of the car. 3 Busch Series wins here. They pull a tearaway off. That was one complaint with this car. He just had a hard time seeing.
Hey, Matt, you got to find out if those left sides had any tread at all left on them. Rusty Wallace in. What if they're not going to be able to do, Matt?
And the Blue Deuce in, 4-tire change. They adjusted this race car with air pressure in the right rear. Rusty told Billy Weber-Lucrucci, just way too free.
And what you were starting to say is that they're not going to have a chance to fix that fender under the green. Check this out a second ago while we were watching those pit stops.
Bobby Hamilton goes by Tony Stewart, and here's Mark Martin coming up on the inside. He drives by Tony Stewart.
So Martin up to 12th. Marty?
Greg Biffle having a strong run now, and wow, he hit Ken Schrader, had to slam on the brakes to avoid from hitting Greg Biffle. A little tight for Biffle, and they had to take some wedge out of that car for Biffle, trying to loosen him up, having a great run in the top 10.
Tony Stewart is falling like a stone here on these last few laps on this set of tires. He's just been passed by Bobby Hamilton, Ryan Newman, Ted Musgrave, and Ricky Rudd.
Yeah, they need to come in now because he's losing way too much track position right now. So they really need to get that car in and get some tires on it as quick as possible.
And Jeff Burton just went by him. There goes Elliott Sadler by him. Those are all for positions.
Hey, Bill, they're not worried about trying to get to a window where they can make it on one more stop, or is there something wrong with this 20 car?
Just the handle has gone away, Benny, talking about it on the radio, but leaving him out there. Don't want to take a chance on getting caught by the caution flag. Working it out between Zipadelli and Stewart.
Well, with the pad that he's got on Mark Martin, that's not a bad call. Matt, what about Jimmy Johnson?
Well, Chad Canals, Jimmy's crew chief, just told him, you keep doing what you're doing. Everyone is trying to short pit us, but we are still all right. The car looks good on the stopwatch. So that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to try to go to the edge of their window for this run.
So Johnson out in front by 3.1 seconds over now Dale Jarrett, with Kurt Busch third, Jimmy Spencer fourth, and Ward Burton up to fifth. Remember, the standings shuffled a little bit by the pit stops. You see those who've already stopped in
yellow.
Okay.
If you would have said yellow, we would have said gold.
Oops, I know. That's why I let you have your say.
The cars that have not stopped, as you see, are in white.
Jimmy Johnson, one of 4 drivers who've been out in front of this race today and hoping to pick up his 4th victory of his rookie season.
Here we go. 8 cars coming down pit road. Are they going to raise the hood, Bill, do you think?
Well, they're talking about it. We'll have to wait and see what they do. I don't think they're gonna, though, Benny. Not under green. They're talking about where they have to finish to try and protect the position they're in the championship standings as opposed to trying to gain. Ryan Newman swings around them, so they go to work on the 8-car right side. Tires are on. Now they'll come around to the left side. Not going to lift the hood. Just going to fuel it and give him tires and send it back out.
Ward Burton is in, Ricky Rudd, Jeff Burton. There's Jeff leaving in the 99 car. He's already had his service. Marty?
Ward Burton very happy with his race car. 4 tires, no changes. Boy, he slides it out of the pit road, flying down pit road. Great car right now for Ward. We're entering in the top 10, trying to get to the top 5.
Better not go too fast.
Yeah.
45-mile-an-hour pit road speed limit today.
What Marty Mitz says, he blazed up to 45 miles per hour. Matt.
Benny Jimmy Spencer, he was running in the 4th position, started the day 3rd. A great run for this team. Great stop so far over the wall. Darren the Alligator Wolf goes to work on the front. Randy Cox in the back. No adjustments to Marty.
Mark Martin has made his way up to the 9th position on that run, Matt. Again, the car is loose. He was tight earlier. They're going to go halfway back on the adjustments they made to start the race. 1.5 rounds back in the right side, trying to tighten up Mark Martin. Left side tires go on. He's off the racetrack. Another great stop. Bill?
Tony Stewart has an opening in the pit wall in front of his stall, so it's easy in and he'll get easy out because the 12 is already come and gone. Chassis adjustment, wedge, track bar, air pressure. 2 laps ago he said this car is just awful. Big changes, that could be the stop that decides the Winston Cup Championship.
Good pit stop. I mean, under the kind of pressure those guys were under, that was a terrific pit stop.
He's given up some track position to Mark Martin. We'll see how it works out now that their cars have been adjusted and they're on fresh tires. And they can go out and race head-to-head. But remember, Mark needs to finish a good chunk in front of Tony to have a shot at this championship. Jimmy Johnson still is not pitted. He's the leader. Dale Jarrett has not stopped yet. Kurt Busch has not stopped yet, nor have Matt Kenseth, Bill Elliott, and Ted Musgrave. They are the first 6. This is Tony on the access road coming onto pit road.
Oh, baby. Skinner runs in the back of Jeff Gordon and caves in the nose of the Kodak car right in front of Tony. Watch this, folks. Wow. Dave.
Well, when they finally did come in, the 24 car put the track bar down. He's still loose and took on 4 tires. But yeah, Mike Skinner into the back of the 24, and Skinner's damage much worse than Jeff's.
Jimmy Johnson leader finally decides to make a pit stop about 10 laps after most of these cars stop.
And Dale Jarrett, the 2nd place cars following him on that access road and now onto the pit lane.
So that's what, hey, great. Battle on pit road for the lead. That's what we like to see. Come on, guys, pump it up. Here comes DJ. All right, Matt, 48 coming to you.
Well, Benny, this will be a race on pit road. They're going to make a chassis adjustment on the 48. Remember, they've had some tough luck on their stops of late as they make a track bar adjustment. He needed a little bit of help up off the corner. Needed forward bite, Bill.
Just a couple of stalls in front of you, Matt. The 88 of Dale Jarrett getting 4 tires and fuel. Been very quiet on the radio. They had to take 4 tires on this stop. Just took 2 on the last one. He's on his way. Kurt Busch in this time, guys.
I mean, it said 19 seconds on DJ's, but there's no way because he had as good a pit stop as Jimmy Johnson's car.
Actually, Jimmy Johnson had problems on the right, the left rear there. Yeah.
Kenseth is in. Kurt Busch is in. Dave?
Matt Kenseth's crew still chasing a loose condition for him. Another bit down on the track bar for him. 4 tires and fuel. Championship pit team hasn't gone, Bill.
Here's Kurt Busch with a little different paint scheme this week. Right to the front of that pit box. Around to the right side. 4 tires. They will make a wedge adjustment. Remember, he's been a little bit loose throughout most of the day. Trying to tighten him up. Make the wedge adjustment. Left side tires coming off. Now new left rubber going on. Fuel. He goes.
And so Kurt Busch rejoins the chase. You know what's going to happen after all that cycle of pit stops? Guess who's going to have the lead?
Joe Nemechek.
Joe Nemechek. Been out there on those fresher tires and fast and made up all that ground he lost sliding around out there while those other guys were on the older tires.
Yeah.
It's going to be Nemechek leading. Jimmy Johnson 2nd. Jimmy Spencer right behind him for 3rd. Then Dale Jarrett 4th. And it looks like Ward Burton is going to be up in 5th. Matt.
Alan, a good update from pit road from 18 pit. Peter Jellin back from the hospital. He's a two-time championship crew member. He doesn't have his fire suit on. He's not gassing the car any longer today. He will be back next year, but he is still here working in the pit, helping the guys, the fill-in guy now, who will be gassing the 18 car with the gas cans. Good news, you can see he does have his neck wrapped, but good news to see Peter Rabbit back at work.
Attaboy, Peter. Back to work. You are slacking off a little bit.
Check out Jimmy Spencer. Trying to get second place away from Jimmy Johnson. Talked about it a little earlier. Spencer looking for work for next year. He was told, a week and a half ago that he's out of this 41 car after this race today. And it's pretty late in the ball game to be hunting a new ride for next year.
Yes, it certainly is.
And I tell you what, Dale Jarrett, I'm going to use a line someone told me yesterday, but DJ behind should be careful because there's going to be resumes coming out the window of that 41 car. One may get stuck in the grill of the 88. I'll tell you what, he's got a great run going.
Talked with Doug Randolph, the crew chief on that 41 car last night. They happened to be eating at the same restaurant we went to dinner at, and stopped by to say hi to Doug, and he said, you keep an eye on us tomorrow. We have a very good race car. Went back to him this morning just after the drivers meeting. Said, you still feel as confident as you did last night? And he said, yep.
And look at this, DJ, while these guys were been battling, DJ, the 88 car, is right there, and Spencer.
Well, Jimmy Johnson got sideways, and that would cost him the spot, but now Jimmy Johnson makes a crossover on the 41, and now Jimmy gets a little bit loose, but not loose enough for Jimmy Johnson to take advantage of it.
And you heard Dale Jarrett working that throttle to get through these long, flat corners. They call that pedaling it.
Well, watch here. Okay.
We tried.
We'll watch over here then.
Jarrett to fourth, Johnson back to third, Spencer to second, Nemechek clear of them by 3.4 seconds.
Didn't Dale Jarrett tell us yesterday in our happy hour show that he was embarrassed last year that this car ran so poorly? Yes. And they tested here, determined to come back and run better. And I tell you what, he's got a shot today. That 88 car has a shot.
All right, let's go back and check on our championship contenders, because remember, we talked about their track position changing. There's Tony Stewart. He is in 22nd place.
Oh, my goodness.
Mark Martin is running in 12th. The 89-point gap is 59 now. But as I said, it's got to be a big gap between them. 12 to 20 seconds, not enough.
Well, Tony Stewart can stay right where he is, no matter what Mark does, as we said going in. He can stay right where he is in 22nd. There we go. Tony Stewart, if he finishes 22nd or better, no matter what Mark Martin does, he's going to win. Mark's got to lead a lap to get 5 bonus points. And listen to Mark hitting that rev limit.
Yeah. And since there's already one car out of the race, Dave Blaney, Tony could not finish 43rd, so if something were to happen and he were to finish 42nd, Mark still needs to finish 12th or better to win the championship. Just past 250 miles in the Ford 400 at Homestead. Stewart still in the lead where the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship is concerned.
Oh, you bet this product's as good as Stacker 2. It really helps burn fat and supercharge your energy. Hey, bros!
Little brother, what have we taught you?
Always be loyal to your sponsor. I was being loyal to my sponsor. I was telling the fans about the new Stacker 2 of Fedra-free. It helps crush cravings, supercharge your energy level, and burn fat. Like I'll be burning up the track. Stacker 2 of Fedra-free. Now available at major retailers and convenience stores near you. I'm telling
All right, Joe Nemechek's leading. Change that topic quickly. 1.2 seconds ahead of Jimmy Spencer. That's about half of what the lead was a little while ago. So Spencer closing in. Target car is on the move.
I wonder if Chip would accept Jimmy Spencer's resume. He's looking for drivers for this 41 car.
Probably planting it on his forehead after this race.
Meanwhile, sliding backwards, one Rusty Wallace, and the bid for the extension of the winning streak, 16 consecutive years, is not looking good.
Where's the 24? Is he passing yet? Because earlier, here we go, 24. And there's the finger out the window, and you gonna get it from me again.
Ooh, can he get there? Yes, he did. And Elliott Sadler will go by them both and say, while you boys play.
Yeah. Can't we all just get along?
That's what Michael says. It's been a year-long thing with those two.
Yes, it has.
A couple of years long, actually.
Yeah, longer than that.
Rusty with the left front fender damaged earlier in the race. It's really affected the handling on his car, Matty.
Well, all they really told him, Alan, was good recovery. Just get back into your rhythm.
You better hurry because he's not far, about 3 or 4 seconds, 5 seconds from being lapped.
Yeah, not even that, really. Yeah, I guess you're right, man.
See, Tony Stewart got by Rusty. Those two running 21st and 22nd now. Greg Biffle has fallen back to 23rd. Marty tells us from pit road that things are not all well under the hood of the 44 car. That's too bad. He was running as high as 3rd earlier in the race. Speaking of not well under the hood, how about the 8 car, Bill?
Boy, this has really become a battle for these guys. Junior hoping the car stays together, not able to pick up much space on the track. Racing there with a 21 as you look forward from Elliott Sadler's car. But Junior never loses his sense of humor, and this was his radio transmission just a few laps ago.
Ain't nobody give me a pepperoni pizza right now, could they? No, I don't see none right now. I'd get one for you. No, I really don't know if they serve that pizza down here, but we go check. Well, I don't have much time for the store closed. Hurry.
Now, I can tell you that he's not really looking for a pepperoni pizza, but these drivers and these teams know other crews listen to their radio transmissions. That's actually a coded message from driver to crew chief and then acknowledged by the crew chief back to the driver. I understand what you want. So how about that?
Boy, oh boy, you'll believe anything, Weber.
That's the truth. Now, come on. Wally, you never use those kind of things?
No, I never did. And you, BP?
All he wants is a pepperoni pizza.
He's hungry.
He's hungry.
Nah, Wally, you just think they're clowning around, don't you?
Bill, the eagle has landed. You're supposed to say something back like, the shoes were a deep, dark blue.
I know.
Look at this. Mark Martin in a great fight for 10th spot with John Andretti and Jeff Burton. What happened to that room they were going to give earlier? He just did.
Yeah, he just did. Mark Martin goes into 10th. And Mike Wallace in that 14 car is 9th.
Good run for Mike.
Terrific run for Mike.
And a pretty good chunk ahead of Mark Martin before he can catch up to Mike and challenge him for that spot. Coming up on 300 miles here, let's check the Napa Field summary. Drivers who've led today. Joe Nemechek has led 90 of the 181 laps we've completed. Earnhardt Jr. 46, Jimmy Johnson 27, Kurt Busch 17. 3 caution flags. Those came back at lap 3 when Dave Blaney crashed in turn 1. Debris in turn 1 at lap 75. Then Michael Waltrip crashed in turn 2 at lap 94. Only car out of the race is Blaney. Otherwise, 42 of the 43 starters still running. Not going very well right now for Tony Stewart, Bill.
Absolutely correct, Alan. It has really become a battle. Tony says the tires have quit already. His last radio transmission half a lap ago, that's all she's got. Now here's where they might be getting some help. The 20 car obviously is a team car of the 18 of Bobby Labonte. Today the 18 has become a test car for the 20. On this current run, Bobby Labonte is trying a different air pressure than they tried in the 20 car. The 18 has been going forward as you see Bobby on the track. The 20 has been dropping back. They just sent a note from Jimmy Makar in his last race as crew chief for Bobby Labonte down to Greg Zipadelli with the information of that tire pressure change that's on the 18 so that the 20, if they want, can try it on their next stop.
But looking at our monitor, Bill, they're running about the same speed. Talking about 18 car of Labonte and the 20 of Tony Stewart. But it might have picked Labonte's car up from the speed he had been running previously.
Well, you saw his last lap time was a little faster than that of the leader, so he's running well. Of course, Tony's was a little bit faster than the leader, too.
Leaders in traffic, I'm sure of that.
Joe Nemechek's advantage on Jimmy Spencer has dwindled to 1/2 of a second as they work some lap traffic. Here comes Jimmy. Boy, wouldn't that be something? Your last ride in a car you're being booted from when you thought you were driving that car next year, and maybe he wins the race.
I don't know. He's got to worry about the 88 car, but here comes DJ, and this UPS car, the brown truck, is pretty doggone fast today. He goes by Spencer.
So Dale Jarrett delivers to the runner-up position, and will try and get Joe Nemechek for the lead as quickly as he can. 83 laps to go. In the Ford 400 in Homestead, Tony Stewart hanging on to his championship lead, but Mark Martin trying to put some moves on. Today's leaders, Joe Nemechek, out in front by 0.8 of a second on Dale Jarrett with 78 laps to go in the Ford 400. Jimmy Spencer, who was running third, is now running sixth. Problems on that 41 car. Matt, what do you think's going on there?
Well, Alan, a few laps ago, Jimmy came on the radio and said, guys, I think I may have a tire going down. The car is just going from loose to bad loose to wicked loose. The guys are on the wall, ready to pit the car if Jimmy needs to come earlier than his scheduled stop.
I will concur with Jimmy. That is wicked loose we're watching right there.
Jimmy Spencer has big hands, but he's got both his hands full trying to keep that 41 car going straight. Mark Martin trying to go forward.
Well, he's trying to get around the lap car, Jeremy Mayfield, BP. Actually, he's lost a spot. Jeff Burton, his teammate, went by him a minute ago, Marty.
Alan, he continues to run in the top 10. You see points as they stand right now. 56 behind is Mark Martin. He needs to gain a lot more than that. Currently 11 for Mark Martin. I just asked Ben Leslie, how's the car? He said it's just okay. It's not spectacular, just okay. Bill?
Working lap 192 of this race. On lap 188, Tony Stewart to his crew, real loose. You see the 25 dash inside of him. Real loose for Tony Stewart as he falls off the lead lap with Nemechek going by.
That's big, because if a caution comes out,
yes, sir,
Tony loses the opportunity to gain a lot of positions back if they straighten the handling on this car out.
Yeah, and he's got to restart back in that mess.
Now 21 cars on the lead lap. Tony Stewart not among them. Problem for Mark Martin is he needs spectacular. Okay, he's not going to get it done.
No, I mean, he's got to have a spectacular run. Today, he's just not been able to do it. And Tony Stewart is just, he's hanging in there where he needs to be.
Tony Stewart needs to finish 22nd or better if Mark Martin wins the race. Right now, Mark's only running 11th. And Tony is running in 22nd place.
Yeah, Tony's car just looks awful right now.
32, Ricky Craven, couple of laps down. He's in 29th spot. Dale Jarrett is the second place car, the UPS machine, trying to make the pass.
Look at that.
Both those cars go by Tony Stewart. Jimmy Johnson. See Jack Sprague back on the racetrack. Did he spend some time in the pits?
No.
Well, they made an unscheduled stop early, I guess, is what I was thinking of.
Michael Waltrip's back on the track after some time behind the wall. Mikey 56 laps down in 42nd place. Involved in a crash at lap number 94 over in turn 2. And had some rather direct comments about the track conditions they're racing under today.
Risk of the accelerator. Just to sound like he's a quarter throttle.
Yeah.
As he tries to
get in and then he backs off it.
Oh, big crash, turn 1. Jimmy Spencer.
Well, it finally got real loose.
Get out of there, it's on fire, buddy. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It just blew up, I guess, going in.
Caution is out. And Spencer wiggling out of that car, and it's good to see. Did Stewart get a lap back there? No. Tony did not get his lap back.
It's on fire, buddy. Get out. I see him getting out on TV. He's okay. He's getting out.
Good to see that Jimmy's okay.
Well, that thing was terrible loose. He was right. We've been watching that. He's had his hands full. We don't know. So
you know, he wondered if he had a tire going down. Something happened where he crashed is very early in the corner. You can see the marks on the wall if you look back.
Yeah.
He crashed very early in the corner, so something happened to that car.
Mechanical, definitely.
See that? Look at that.
Take a look here. See him coming down the straightaway right there. And that thing just turned sideways on its own.
Right rear tires. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, it was flat.
Yeah, it is flat.
Yep.
So he did have a tire going down like he suspected.
Oof.
Wow, that guy standing there got warm.
See that photographer?
Yeah.
And Greg Biffle did the same thing yesterday. You know, stayed out there with a flat tire, did not crash, but might have cost himself a victory.
All right, here come all of the leaders onto pit road. Dave?
Track bar down again, still loose, 4 tires. Matt Kenseth, this run when they go back out will be 4 laps longer than the last run they made. Marty?
Mark Martin says the car still feels just a little bit loose to me. One turn into the left rear for Mark. That should tighten him up just a bit. 4 tires, Matt.
Nemechek was going to make his last stop at lap 210. He asked Peter Suspenzo, can we go the distance from here? He said no. 4 tire change, no adjustments for Joe Nemechek. Bill.
Right side tires are already on for Dale Jarrett. Lefts are on. He's got fuel. He's on his way.
And he's going to beat Joe Nemechek out.
Yes, he is.
Way to go, guys.
But you know what, guys? Believe it or not, we're in that fuel situation.
I wish we were not going to say that.
Some cars might be able to make it from here the rest of the way.
And how about Tony Stewart? We talked about how big a moment it was when Joe Nemechek put him a lap down at lap 192.
This is not where he wants to be.
Now, by being 1 lap down, the farthest up in the field he can get is 22nd place, unless he can run well enough to get back on the lead lap.
Well, these guys should get him out first.
Yeah.
You know, so he'll have a shot at getting that lap back if his guys can get him off pit lane first here.
The problem is that Mark Martin is still running 14th.
Yes.
It's not like he's, you know, Dale Jarrett and leading the race and what have you. He's 14th place car.
So these are the cars a lap or more down coming in for their pit stops. Bill?
And I'm telling you, for Tony Stewart and for this crew, this trip down pit road before he gets to his stall must seem like it's taking forever. Last radio transmission before the caution. Loose, loose, loose. Zipadelli said, hang in there, maybe we'll get a caution. They got a caution. He couldn't get his lap back. Zippy asked him about the car. It's loose in, loose on exit. So they're going to make a major chassis adjustment along with an air pressure adjustment. Took a long time on that right rear. Looks like they pulled a spring rubber out of there. In fact, it's lying on the track. Come around to the left side, left front's on, bolting on the left rear. He's going to have to hustle to beat the 4, but he will.
And Bill said, feels like forever getting down pit road. This day is taking forever. That 20 guys.
Just checking things as they shuffle up the standings. Tony could be as high as 20th on this restart because Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been on pit road a couple of times with the hood up on his car. So we'll check where things come out, but no higher than 20th on the restart. Bill, what about Junior?
Yeah, they're messing under the hood there. They're trying to change some spark plugs, see if that'll help. They think it's still could be a valve spring. Working on that under the hood. Second time he's been here, getting the 1 to go, I think, this time by.
All right, so I was talking about Stewart, no higher than 20th on the restart. Mark Martin off pit road, 7th.
Ooh. Oh, he did come off 7th?
Yep. Good stop. But it's still not enough for Martin to wrestle the championship away from Stewart. A long way to go, though. Still 70 laps of racing remaining at Homestead.
Dale, thanks for being designated driver.
No problem, man.
What's up? Make a left up here. Hey, Mr. Fisher! Okay, make a quick left and then slow down. Cindy! Cindy! What's going on? Make a right on Havermeyer. What's up? Make a left on Jackson.
Dude, where exactly do you live?
Right back by the bar. Hey, Bobby!
Green flag, green flag.
Back under green at Homestead. Tony Stewart trying to get a lap back from Dale Jarrett.
And Jarrett got up high going down in turn 1. We've seen cars several times. When they make that high entry, the car slides up the hill, the 10 car. And now Jarrett weaving his car back and forth, trying to get that debris off his tires.
What was it you guys said at the top of the broadcast? People don't want to be messing with the championship contenders today and take a chance on being the one to take them out.
And I said during break here, we were talking about, I bet that 88 doesn't run the 20 real hard down into turn 1 on this restart.
Now the question is, how effective are the adjustments that Greg Zuccarelli made to Tony Stewart's car? Can he stay in front of Dale Jarrett as things settle out and they start to put some laps on?
Probably not too long. I think Dale Jarrett probably would catch Tony. Like you said, if they didn't make a big improvement on the car, he's going to catch him in 5 or 6 laps. But maybe they made the right call.
Johnny Benson also through Jarrett, tail end of the lead lap, so that's a bumper car for Tony Stewart. And of course, Tony's best hope now is for a quick caution. Stewart 21st, Benson 22nd. Last car on the lead lap, that's Johnny in the 10, just in front of Dale Jarrett, the leader, in the 88.
And in this business, when you have a caution flag and bunch all these cars up, a lot of times it brings out another caution flag.
Here comes Nemechek closing on the back bumper of the 88 Dale Jarrett. So Jarrett's going to have to get around these guys.
Mark Martin running 6th after the restart with, by the way, 2 Roush Racing teammates ahead of him in the standings. Kurt Busch running 3rd, Jeff Burton running 5th. Might there be team orders if this thing winds down this way into the closing laps? Jimmy Spencer's with Dave Burns.
And out of the infield care center. Jimmy, how are you and what happened?
Just it blew right with a tire, but I mean, I had a good car. I'm fine, you know, just normal deal. Just thank NASCAR, you know, I can't say enough about it. They harp on me all the time about the restraints and everything they do to these cars, and I tip my hat to them. I have to thank them for it. Dr. Melvin, all those guys, and so many of them. But anyway, the target car was running good. It got up to Joe, felt like I had him. I felt like, man, this is me. I got him, and I got real loose. And then Dale Jarrett got underneath me. Then some other guys, and it just got really, really free, and just blew out going into 1. You know, we were like 8 laps from a pit stop, so. You know, you just say, well, let's stay out to try and keep the car on the lead lap. You know, not get out of sequence and go on 1 more stop. It didn't work out for us. But, you know, I love my guys. I've had a tough year, and I think they did. I'm looking forward to next year, and I hope that Chip and his guys will get a good driver, and they're looking forward to next year, too. And I just want to tell you, I love everybody. Have a good Christmas. Thanksgiving's coming. And remember that the good Lord sent his son down here. And that's what we're all going to celebrate on Christmas Day.
All right, Jimmy, good luck getting that next ride. Bill?
Dave, Dale Jarrett in a battle with Joe Nemechek at the front of this field. Nemechek looking to the inside. Going to try and make the move. Jarrett going to try and hold him off. Before that last restart, Dale Jarrett wanted to make sure he knew exactly what the situation was in the championship standings. He asked his crew. Crew Chief Todd Parrott told him what the standings were in the championship as Nemechek takes another look, that Mark was 6th and that Tony was currently 21st. He said, just do what you have to do to race for the win. But he also said the 88 had already gotten their championship right now. Clean air up front. Matt?
Bill, we saw fuel or lack of it decide the Busch Series race on Saturday. Right now, the 25 car, Joe Nemechek, he is 3 laps shy of making on fuel. His teammate, Jimmy Johnson, running back in 4th. If they get the best fuel mileage on this run, like they've gotten all day, they are a quarter of a lap short.
It'll coast a quarter of a lap.
Yeah.
Not very fast, but it sure beats going down pit road.
Yes, sir.
So Dale Jarrett, Joe Nemechek continuing to race for the lead. Mark Martin running in 6th. Tony Stewart running 21st. Now, because the bonus points for leading the most laps have been locked up today by Joe Nemechek, Tony now needs to finish 24th or better to win the championship, even if Mark winds up in victory lane. And he's 21st right now. There it is. If Mark finishes 6th as he runs, Tony needs to finish 34th or better. The 34th place car is 3 laps down right now, and Tony Stewart is on the tail end of the lead lap, so he'd have to have a problem. Flat tires, something like that, to fall back that far.
And all of a sudden, if Tony Stewart's car, something happens to it like happened to Jimmy Spencer's, he'll be on pit road quickly, changing 4 tires, making sure.
Well, the other side of the thing is, too, boy, the fuel mileage could really jumble up the finish order. Yeah. This could be one of, if this unfolds like the finish of yesterday's NASCAR Busch Series race, where there are people running out of gas all over the place in the last laps, we'll have to wait till the race is over to figure out who finished where and see where the whole championship is. And believe me, I said this yesterday, but yesterday was the proof. This is not over. Until the checkered flag waves, anything can happen. Still, Nemechek pressuring Dale Jarrett for the lead. Marty.
Obviously, Mark Martin has to catch his teammates that are in front of him. But Ben Leslie, if you do catch your two teammates in front of you, will they pull over and let you pass?
I doubt that. You know, we've got sponsor agreements and everything else. They're going to race us just like every other team. Probably won't take too many unnecessary chances racing us real hard. But nevertheless, they're in it to do the best job they can also.
How close are you on fuel?
We're probably going to be 2 to 3 laps short.
And that's why they decided not to come in and top off, because even if they did top off, they were still going to be 2 laps short in the 6 car. But he's running a lot better than he's been all day long.
And a couple of guys right behind Mark Martin closing up on him, about to take some spots away. Mike Wallace in that 14 Conseco car is back in the 7th position. That's caught Mark Martin and appears to be a little bit faster. So does Elliott Sadler, the 21 car, behind Mike Wallace.
Elliott Sadler in his last ride for the Wood Brothers. He goes to drive for Robert Yates Racing next year. Mike Wallace really doesn't know what next year holds for him. Will he be in that 14 car? Will he not?
Who knows?
He doesn't. I tell you, the question about the teammates in Mark Martin, he's got to catch him first. He's falling 4 seconds behind Jeff Burton. Jeff running in 5th, and Mark is 4, almost 5 seconds behind the next position in front of him.
And right now, those other cars are outrunning Mark about a ½ second a lap. I think Mark's car is pretty good after a while, but it seems like it takes 25 or 30 laps to get it going.
Still, Nemechek closes on Dale Jarrett in the center of corner, but then Dale gets up off the turns fast enough to keep him behind.
Well, Joe's trying to get him on the inside, and there's not much room left on the inside. As you can see, Joe tries to take a peek down on the bottom.
Oh, it might be some room this time. Oh, it wasn't.
Like Alan said, 88 gets off the corner a little bit better.
And right behind these guys is Kurt Busch.
I haven't seen him in a while, huh?
No. And there's Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Burton. Check it out, Jeff Burton, that time, the 99 car, had the fastest time of the top 10 cars.
Kurt Busch led this race from lap 58 to 62, then again from 161 to 162 during a cycle of green flag pit stops, but despite winning the Bud pole for this race, has not been one of the dominant factors.
In the grass, practically.
Oh, they are.
Elliott Sadler looking outside of Mike Wallace, who's looking around Mark Martin. And again, this is for 6th, 7th, and 8th place.
Elliott's taking a look. He's there.
Oh.
Wow.
I mean, Mike Wallace does not want to give that spot up too easily because Jeff Gordon back there as well. Now Mike's going to try it on the outside of Mark Martin.
And he's got the run.
Get it done, yeah.
Mark trying to protect his spot. Drives it in. Nope, not enough. And here comes Elliott. So Mark needs spectacular. He's getting struggling right now. Drops him from 6th to 8th in that one lap. 24 car Jeff Gordon's going to try and take a spot too. Remember, Jeff got a lap back. He had fallen a lap down earlier in the race. 24 car rider got his lap back at the lap 94 caution when Michael Waltrip hit the wall in turn 2.
Well, Kurt Busch, you see, now is back in the 3rd position, 13 points ahead of Jimmy Johnson. What about the 24 car, Dave?
BP, they stayed out. They did not come in and top off. And Robbie Lewis and crew chief radioed into Jeff. I think we might be okay. Go ahead and save the fuel whenever you can.
About 15 green on your tires, 1-5.
I couldn't make out what Ben Leslie said that time.
I couldn't either.
John Andretti coming up behind Mark next to try and challenge him for the 9th spot. So after that set of pit stops, things not going very well for the 6 car. And that's tough because this is the stretch run to the finish of the race when he needed to be his best. Marty, got more on Mark?
Yeah, I just want to tell you guys exactly what Mark said. I just confirmed with Ben what he indeed did say, that the car is just too loose at the beginning of the run. But this has been the characteristic of Mark's car in the last half of this race. Loose to start, but it gets better the longer he runs. You're exactly right, BP. It tightens up real nice for him at the end of the run. That could play to his favor at the end of this deal.
There's the gap. It was 89 to start the day. Mark is running 9th. Tony Stewart's 21st. And if a caution comes out now while Tony's in front of the leader, Dale Jarrett, he's going to come back and have the chance to gain a lot more positions in the closing laps. Now, 3 cars topped off on that caution before we went back to green. 17 car Matt Kenseth is the one who's running farthest up front of them. 15th in line now. 14 seconds behind the leader. And he doesn't have to move anywhere if this race stays green, because if he can make it to the finish on the gasoline, he goes to the front when everybody else in front of him stops.
That's right. Dave, can he make it the rest of the way?
They will be close. They knew they couldn't, because when they pitted, they were about 4 laps shy of the run they had made previously, 68 laps. Now, as we get a battle for the lead, and it looks like Joe Nemechek's finally going to get underneath Dale Jarrett as they head to turn 1, guys. But anyway, Matt Kenseth, it will be close. I think they can go.
If he does, he might steal the win.
My guess is they're going to try. Otherwise, they would not have come down pit road and given away all that track position.
So Joe Nemechek back out in front. He's led 106 of the 224 laps that we've run today. He's been the dominant car. Marty, what's this about Jeff Burton?
Yeah, not so fast about his teammate Matt Kenseth. Jeff Burton may be sitting the prettiest of them all. In 5th position right now. Paul Andrews tells me, yes, we can go all the way on fuel. They needed 9 laps of caution last time. Guess how many laps of caution there were?
Oh, and the 17 car is blowing up.
Matt Kenseth. Well, so much for that. No caution, though. Even though he left a little stream of liquid behind him on the access road.
He got off the racetrack pretty quick. You can see the oil.
Yeah. Now here comes Jimmy Johnson on Kurt Busch for 3rd. Not quite. Bill.
Tony Stewart on the radio in his car saying there is oil all over the racetrack where the 17 car erupted, trying to get NASCAR's attention through the official working their pit. Now the spotter also saying they can see oil on the racetrack. Cipodelli standing up, but Tony on the radio saying there's oil on the racetrack, which obviously you would expect him to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Marty.
And you can imagine that sent panic through Mark Martin's pits. Jeff Paxson, one of the head engine builders for Roush Racing, went back immediately, ran to see what happened to the 17 car. Harry McMullen is another head engine builder for Roush Racing, sits on top of the toolbox at Mark Martin's pit, staring at the 17 car, wondering what happened and if it might happen to the 6th.
I am monitoring NASCAR's race control channel. They're checking with their spotters out in turn 3 and 4, and they're saying the track looks clean.
Yeah, they're not.
Oh, wait, caution. Caution's out. They've just put the caution out for oil in turn 3.
I wonder how many guys that didn't have to stop for fuel saw that oil.
Most. Not many. Most of them. Dave?
Matt Kenseth is here. Matt, from what you heard or felt, do you know what top engine, bottom of the engine?
It blew up. I don't know, broke a piston or something. So it's a shame. We had didn't have the fastest car today, but we had the fuel mileage figured out where I think we would have had a shot at the win at the end of this race. We were ahead of everybody else who could have made it, I think. So, you know, it's real disappointing today. We needed to make it to the end. We needed to try to move up in a points position if we could. We ran a little bit more gear than was probably against our best judgment, but that's the place the motors make the power. That's the gear they want us to run, and just today it didn't last.
Do you think Mark ran a lesser gear, better on the motor, Mark Martin?
No, he's got more than me, so we'll see if he makes it.
Wow, keep an eye out for that, guys.
Yeah, because he's on the rev limiter just about every lap getting into turn 3.
I'd like to see the Super Crew.
This may not be pretty.
2, 3, give me you. Come on. How do you do anything?
Yes, Matt's crew is super, but the Ford Super Crew is part of the best-selling line of trucks in the world. Ford F-Series, no boundaries.
So what'd you think?
I don't know. Do they come in blue?
No, they do.
Yes, they do.
34 laps to go. Ryan Newman is the leader.
green flag.
And Kurt Busch did not get a good start.
No, he did not.
Lap cars scooting by to the inside of second place Jimmy Johnson.
And those lap cars, I think probably some of those guys have tires, so that's why they're making it look so easy getting by those guys that didn't take any tires.
Cleanly off two.
That dust that you saw when the 12 car went by was oil dry.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson with the wiggle when he tried to get under Jeff Green. Gathers it back up. 97 is Kurt Busch. He's the other car on the lead lap. Trying to get second spot away. Things are getting tense.
I think Jimmy Johnson's wishing he took some tires right now.
I think he is too, because he and Busch are side by side. It looks like Busch is going to get the spot.
30 car not on the lead lap. Jeff Green. For second place, it's the 97 and the 48. Tony Stewart working his way through the traffic. He's picked up a couple of spots since the restart. He's up to 18th. 28 car Ricky Rudd is the next one. If he passes him, he'll get 17th.
He's 3 wide, Tony. 3 wide. Somebody hit the brakes. Oh, close. Fortunately, I think both of them hit the brakes, Ricky Rudd and Tony Stewart.
You know, Joe Gibbs, and ooh, contact in front of him, parts flying.
And that makes Tony Stewart more nervous than anything is when...
Trouble in the corner. John
like
Andretti loses an engine. Is there oil on the track? Does the 20 make it through?
Yep, 20's on the bottom of the racetrack.
There is oil on the track. You saw Robbie Gordon spin. Stewart's going to get through and come back to the caution.
I was just saying, that's the last thing you want to see on your windshield is somebody having trouble in front of you.
Wow.
Bill?
Tony Stewart to his crew, I can see perfectly, no problem.
So he has no oil on the windshield. Doesn't have to make a pit stop to clean the windshield. Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Don't run into the back of somebody under caution.
Sometimes that's a concern when someone blows in front of you. All that oil comes back and covers the windshields. Several cars behind him.
So there was oil on the track from Andretti's engine. They're going to stop and clean that up. They're going to wrap this caution
all
back
that
up.
oil coming out from underneath that car. That thing blew up big time.
Mark Martin in front of all that on the racetrack when Andretti had his problem. That's too bad for John. He was on the lead lap having a good run.
Moves Tony Stewart up to 15th, another spot. Guys, put some oil dry down, and that stuff will be running on the bottom of the racetrack.
You know, I was just thinking, and Bill, you're down there watching the championship team. You can tell me, but I was just thinking how nervous Joe Gibbs and Greg Zipadelli must be watching all this mayhem in front of their driver on that restart.
It's tough enough on a regular day, but when you're trying to lock up the championship, Zipadelli has spent a lot of time on the radio talking to Tony here in the second half of this race. In fact, we asked to talk to him one time under green, and he declined because Tony had not talked to the crew, but every lap, about every 37 seconds, Zippy called out his lap time. That's when Tony was on the tail end of the lead lap, wanted to know exactly how he was doing. Most of these guys quiet, a few smiles after that caution came out that got Tony back on the lead lap. Mark Cronquist, the head engine builder, doing his walking, his pacing back in the garage. Joe Gibbs here in this pit stall, as he has been all day, watching his team race for a championship.
Tony Stewart in 15th position as the coach goes to consult with the coach of his team. Joe makes it very clear that he is the owner of this franchise now, and that Greg Zipadelli and Jimmy Maycar are the coaches of their Winston Cup race teams respectively.
So he's the John Kent Cook of this race team. Yep. The guy that owned the Redskins when he had so much success up there.
And if they're able to win the championship, Joe Gibbs is often credited during his success with the Washington Redskins for his people skills, taking diverse personalities like John Riggins, for example, known for being a little unorthodox, and molding them together into a team unit. With all of the different things that have gone on around Tony Stewart this year, I would dare say that Joe Gibbs' people skills have come to play again in helping Greg Zipadelli keep this team all pulling forward in the same direction. 23 laps to go. With the championship in the balance, Tony running 15th, Mark Martin 6th, Ryan Newman leads.
Boy, Kurt Busch is just not getting the restarts he wants.
He's going to get a lap car, maybe two, between himself and Newman.
Up there on that high side, which is real slick on these restarts.
Joe Nemechek is up there as well, that 25 car.
And Tony Stewart back in the traffic. There's Nemechek inside of Jeff Gordon. That's 4th place.
They are stacked up back there.
And Tony going 3 wide on the outside, passing the 7 car of Jason Leffler.
Man, right around where that arc streak of oil had been from the Andretti car that was dried up. Stewart working on Ricky Rudd for 15th place. He did lose that spot to Rudd in that shuffle. He's back to 16th.
Listen to that. You just can't get on that throttle, can they, Benny?
No, they sure can't. Now the 3 wide, Tony, easy. Okay. Man. Okay, now you can go on the inside and try to get by the 28 car.
This would be drive defensively mode here for Tony.
Sun looks like it's got a pretty good glare in the windshield.
And we can see he's trying to win a championship. He's still turning about 9,200 RPMs all day long for 400 miles.
Must have cleared Ricky Rudd because he drifted up along the wall.
So there's Tony having cleared Ricky Rudd, settling in back 15th in line. Next car ahead of him for a position will be the 22 of Ward Burton. A few cars in front of him there are lap machines he's not racing with. The 4 of Skinner, the 45 of Kyle Petty. And those cars aren't racing for a spot either. Mark Martin getting by the lap car of Kenny Wallace, still running in 6th place. He's about a half a second from catching Jeff Gordon for 5th. There is Jeff in the 24. Remember, the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson took no tires on that last car on the last pit stop. Check our championship from 3rd through 8th. Remember the $500,000 from 3rd to 7th.
How about that? Jimmy Johnson, Ryan Newman, both were bestest rookies, tied for 4th in NASCAR Worcester Cup point standings.
And the tiebreaker is most number of wins, which would go to Jimmy Johnson, who has 3 wins. Ryan Newman has 1.
And here comes Kurt Busch. This is for the lead. Trying to get on the inside of Ryan Newman. He's got to run. Is it good enough? Not quite. Has to fall back in line.
And he should scoot underneath him maybe right when Ryan tips up the racetrack right here. Will he cross under him? No, Ryan keeps it down on the bottom.
Boy, he does, doesn't he? Does a great job keeping that car on the bottom of the racetrack.
Ryan Newman did not hit under that last caution. Kurt Busch at least has fresher right side tires than Newman. Mark Martin losing a spot. Here's Elliott Sadler to his outside in the 21. 6th place. Goodbye. Now Mark back to 7th.
And Elliott gives him a wave and says, thank you.
Next to challenge Mark for a spot will be his teammate Jeff Burton in the 99. That opens the gap up a little more. From Tony back to Mark. Hear him have to ease off the gas there.
Probably sounds like he's tight off right now. Right with him here. Down in the 3. Have somebody on the outside of him. He's up along the wall. There you go.
There goes his teammate past. So Jeff to 7th, Mark back to 8th.
Let's go on board with Mark, see what kind of RPMs he might be turning. We saw about 9,200 on the
Wow,
94. Over 9,400 on Mark's car. So, yes, he is turning.
Yeah, they're going for it.
Put a little more gear than Kenseth.
And you heard the engine rattle on that red limiter chip.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be enough. At this point, with Mark now riding back in 8th position and Tony Stewart running in 15th. Things can still happen. 15 laps still to go. Tony running around his teammate Bobby Labonte, who's 31st place in this race right now, 3 laps down to the race leader Ryan Newman.
Johnny Benson in the 10 car coming up behind Tony Stewart. That's the battle for the 15th position.
And while we're watching this and keeping an eye on the championship, nothing has changed up front. Kurt Busch is still stalking Ryan Newman, but he has not found a way around him. Wow, Tony had a nice little wiggle there, didn't he?
Yeah, Johnny's got through 3 and 4 a lot better than the 20 car that time. Right in the center. Johnny Benson was a little bit faster. We'll see if it's the same in 1 and 2. Yep, right there he gains on him.
That's for a spot, by the way. Benson trying to take 15 from Stewart.
They told him there's nobody behind the 10, so let him go if you want.
Yeah, that's a good move, Bill.
And he did.
So Tony settles into 16th place. He's 2 seconds ahead of Steve Park. The yellow car there, that'd be the next one to challenge Tony for a spot. Up front for the lead, Kurt Busch finally with the fender outside of Newman. Ryan slams the door.
Uh-oh.
Jeff Green.
He's got a left front tire down, looks like. No, maybe not.
I think they lost the engine.
Yeah.
You know, it might be. I guess it was an engine, but
he was right up against the wall. I think when the smoke came out the exhaust pipes, it kind of.
Yeah.
So these guys turning all that RPM today is taking. John Andretti has lost an engine here lately. The 30 car probably lost. Yes, the 30 car has taken his car directly to the garage. So
confirmation from pit road. It was the engine on the 30 car. Jeff Green's season is over.
And right behind these 2 cars, now the 97 car right now is a little bit faster than the 12. But the fastest car of all might be Nemechek.
Yes, sir.
So Kurt Busch wants to get by as quick as he can.
Because he does. He looks like he's a little bit faster than Ryan BP, but boy, hard to pass somebody sometimes. A lot of times when you get by a guy, you'll leave him. But this racetrack talked about is so narrow where you have to race. You can't get underneath the guy.
There we go.
And he got underneath him that time.
Kurt Busch out in front. Coming to 10 laps to go. He led the first 10 laps of the race. He might lead the last 10 and pick up the victory.
Man, has he been on a roll the last couple of months, that 97 car?
Yeah, they have.
You talk about him as far as guys who might look for that championship in 2003. Kurt Busch would be a strong contender. How about Tony Stewart? With Mark Martin falling back, well, actually just picked up a spot. He's up to 7th now, got back by Elliott Sadler.
Tony loose off and laying on the 26 car.
Now here comes Nemechek, the 25 car. This is what Kurt Busch does not want to see.
Yeah,
what he wanted to see was them racing side by side, though, because he's gotten away pretty quickly.
Got a pretty good lead. It's probably going to be about 1.5 seconds, but I don't know. There might not be enough time. Nemechek might still run him down.
Well, we'll take a look. They're both in clean racetrack now, so we'll see what they're running this next lap when they complete it.
You better get going.
Now, if he's 0.2 of a second faster, Joe is, he'll catch him.
He's a 2nd and 6/10 back. 9 laps to go. He'll catch him at the white flag if he's able to make that pace up. You saw Tony Stewart still hanging in there. 16th place for Tony. Mark Martin running 7th. Ryan Newman trying to get around the lap car of Jamie McMurray. Boy, what might have been for him if not for the penalty for jumping a restart earlier at lap number 7. Put him a lap down. He's never made it up.
Actually, Busch was faster than Joe that last lap.
Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson going to race for 5th and 6th positions. And even if he loses this spot, what a season it's been for Johnson in that 48 car.
It has been phenomenal.
3 victories. Going to finish somewhere in the top 7 in the championship in his rookie season. Mark Martin right behind them. May be able to pick up a couple of spots quick if they get together.
Oh, yeah. That's how you race your owner.
7 to go.
Yep, Chad was right and Jimmy, the crew chief, was right.
They should have taken tires on that 48 car, huh?
Remember that last stop, he wanted to put a couple of tires on it.
At least 2.
At least 2, and the driver talked him out of it.
Here is third place. Jeff Burton in the 99 trying to take the long way around Newman in the 12.
And I'm sure Newman's doing a lot of sliding right now. Hoping for these next 6 laps to go by quickly.
Now we're getting close to calling the election for Tony Stewart. I know we're in Florida, but hear me out, Wally. The worst, with Mark Martin running in 8th, Tony clinches the title by finishing 37th or better. 38th place on down or out of the race already. 37th place is 7 laps down. So I think at this point we can call Florida for Tony Stewart.
I think so, huh?
I need my little dry ink board there. What is it that Russert uses?
Let's let him run one more lap just to be sure.
Well, let's let him run all 5.
Yeah, that'd be even better.
Benny, there was an article in USA Today earlier this week, and we also talked with Richard Petty on Discover Card Countdown to Green, talking about Tony Stewart needing to understand the obligation of being champion, saying that the job of being champion just doesn't constitute driving a race car. Jeff Gordon, on the other hand, said that off-track responsibilities have nothing to do with being a great champion. Being a champion's about what you do on the racetrack. You're a Winston Cup champion. Got a thought?
I think you have to have, there has to be some things you do off the racetrack to represent. I mean, after all, they're at New York, they're going to give this guy almost $4 million. And there's nothing for nothing in this world. You're going to have to give something for it. So he's going to have to do some things off the racetrack and probably some things that he isn't comfortable doing.
Well, I think we sugarcoated this story a little bit. I think it was a lot more than that. But, yeah, I mean, Tony just needs to be Tony. Tony shouldn't change for anybody. And he got here for being a great race car driver. He won the championship for being a good race car driver, not being certainly not being a politician. So as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, Benny's right. There are some things that come with being a champion that he's going to have to do, but he doesn't have to like it. And, you know, that's just...
And, you know, I like that about Tony. He doesn't like it, and he lets you know he doesn't like it, but he's still going to have to do it.
Yeah, and I don't think
kicking and screaming every inch of the way.
Well, and I hope he, you know, that's the thing. You just don't want anybody to change just because they're champion. You know, I just hope Tony stays the same, and I think he will.
There's no doubt.
Waving Steve Park by. Tony will go to 18th position. Mark Martin is running 4th, but it's not going to be enough. Next time, the white flag waves for leader Kurt Busch. And Tony Stewart will be 1 lap away from finishing off a very turbulent Winston Cup season with a champion's celebration. The headlines have been many involving Tony Stewart, not all of them good. The incident at Indianapolis with the photographer, much publicized. Tony put on probation by his sponsor for the rest of the season. But he and that team had so many opportunities to come apart at the seams from all the off-track distractions that were going on, and they didn't.
It made them stronger because it brought them much closer together as a team. As you see, the white flag is waving on this field.
It's the final lap of the 2002 season. Tony Stewart, 1.5 miles from a NASCAR Winston Cup championship. Kurt Busch is out in front of the race, looking to pick up his 4th victory of the season. 3 of those will come in the last 5 weeks of the year. Put Kurt Busch on your calendar as a Winston Cup title contender for 2003. Checkered flag is up. The Ford of Roush Racing wins the Ford 400. Kurt Busch is the winner at Miami. 2nd for Nemechek, 3rd for Jeff Burton. Mark Martin's title bid will be a strong one today. He'll finish 4th. But at the end of the day, the big trophy will go to Tony Stewart. The Rushville Rocket from Indiana is the 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup champion.
And there's a big sigh of relief.
Yes, it is.
It didn't come easy at a track where they've dominated In the 3 previous Winston Cup races here, an 18th place finish for the 20 car today, but it did the job. Second Winston Cup championship for Joe Gibbs Racing, and Tony Stewart is now just the 25th man in history to wear a NASCAR Winston Cup Champions ring. There's his teammate Bobby Labonte offering congratulations in the 18 car. Victories this season for Tony Stewart at Atlanta, Richmond, on the road course at Watkins Glen. He'll win the championship despite failing to finish 6 races this season. Who'd have thought at lap 3 of the Daytona 500 Tony Stewart would be champion? The first race of the year, he was the first car out with engine failure at lap 2. But when it's all said and done, after 14,353 miles of racing, Tony Stewart's the champion. Marty?
Greg Zipadelli gets a hug from his wife, Nan. There's lots of stuff flying around here that is, I don't know what that stuff's called. And I think the biggest gets a hug from his brother, Scott Zipadelli, one of the mechanics on the 18 car, Bobby Labonte. I think the biggest feeling down here, Zippy, is just relief. With me, take a deep breath. It's over, buddy.
Yeah, it is. Thanks to this man right here. I had the opportunity to put a great team together. I don't even know what to say, man. It's been a long year.
You came here from New Britain, Connecticut, a young guy, worked with Jeff Burton for a while, but you produced the 25th Winston Cup champion in Tony Stewart. He said before the race, if it weren't for you and these guys, this would have never happened this year.
Yeah, we've had a tough year. You know, it's been up and down, but it sure makes it all worth it.
Finished 43rd in the Daytona 500. Do you ever think it would happen?
Boy, I don't think we ever gave up, but there were some days where we had our doubts. But
all right, the Zipadelli family here celebrating the Winston Cup championship, Dave.
And Mark Martin going down to talk to Jeff Gordon, the guy who gave up the championship this year. Mark, as he came in and talking to his guys, just talking about how much they have given to try to give Mark Martin this championship this year. And now Mark with a smile and a thumbs up for Jeff. Mark, talk to us about your comments to your crew and just how hard you guys worked today to try to get this championship.
Well, we gave it everything we had. Those guys just were a little bit stronger than us, but what an effort, man. You know, we came from the back of the pack and we wrestled ill handling all day, and we got it right at the end, and the car was just really, really good, and we worked our way up all day, and that's, you know, I only regret that I could have provided more leadership for this team so that we could have scored an extra 100 or 150 points this year somewhere along the line all together, and then we would have won it hands down, but we didn't, and I couldn't. I've done all I could, and I'm proud of what we accomplished.
They put a cap on the season with a late season run that gave them a shot, and they took it once again today. Marty?
The sense for Joe Gibbs and all these guys is just one of relief. You stood here 2 years ago with Bobby Labonte as a Winston Cup champion. Now your second driver, Tony Stewart, does it for you in year number 11 for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Well, I got to tell you something. I've been probably the luckiest people in the world. Lord's blessed me with so much, and but I'm happy for all the people here. There's a lot of people in this championship, you know, thrust that didn't get to experience the other one. You got people like Zippy's, all the story there, Tony, all the people that worked on it, and everybody didn't get to experience the first one with us. That's why it gets you so excited about these and so nervous. I'm holding my breath because you want all of them to enjoy it. You know, Home Depot, what a story there. I mean, to have Bob Nardelli here today and Arthur Blank originally gamble and go with us when he and Bernie, when, you know, we didn't really, nobody knew Tony Stewart. We were just in there talking about a team that hadn't won a race. So Home Depot, we just say a big thanks to all those 280,000 people out there, man. We know that they're going to celebrate Bob Nardelli here, and everybody getting a chance to celebrate with us today. We're thrilled.
And over 200 people work at Joe Gibbs Racing, and they're all celebrating today. Matt?
And for the first time in his career, Kurt Busch wins from the pole. And now he's going to go into the mosh pit of the Rubbermaid guys. What a statement. What kind of statement does this send the competition for next year?
This is unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. As many competitors were up there at the end as there were, and I just shut him out. I said, we got to go for the victory. There's no way they can get by us if we do that. And just an awesome day. I mean, this is unbelievable. To get a car that would work good and get a pole and to work well enough to win a race, it's unbelievable. This team can do it. We've been building cars. Great sponsor, Newell Rubbermaid and Coca-Cola. Ford, this is their race. We had to bring a Ford to victory lane. And, of course, Kraft Foods, just an awesome year. We can't wait next year.
Third win in the last 5 weeks. You must hate to see this season come to an end.
We're going to Talladega, then we're going to Daytona, then we're going to Vegas to test. So I just can't wait to get back in the car. And thank you, Jeff Burton, Mark Martin. Congratulations to him. Matt Kenseth for winning the most. Our shop got a lot of work done this year. I don't know how many wins we got. Is that 9 or 10? That's the deal right there.
They are very productive. Their 4th win this season, Alan.
Kurt Busch was one of those drivers locked up in that tight fight for 3rd in the final championship standings. And he will obviously hang on to it with his victory today. Jeff Gordon moving up 2 spots in the final rundown with his 5th place finish today.
Well, we are here waiting for the champion to emerge from his car here at Homestead Miami Speedway. For Tony Stewart, the long road from the heartland of Indiana to a championship at Homestead is over. Off come the belts, the safety devices, the steering wheel's already off. An emotional few moments for Tony in the car, sits there trying to compose his thoughts, and then we'll get ready to celebrate. His team is here, many of his friends are here. Now admiring a cap that says 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup champion, Tony Stewart. It has been a rocky year for this team and for the driver. After the checkered flag, he said, "I'm glad the roller coaster is over," and it is. Here is the 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup champion, Tony Stewart. Jason Shapiro. He's looking for Greg Zipadelli. That's okay, man. Congratulations. Dale Jarrett is here. Bobby Labonte was here a few moments ago.
We got through it. We got it. It was ugly, but we got through it. All year. Okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Tony Stewart, congratulations. You are the 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup champion.
Unbelievable. This was an ugly day. It was just like Rockingham a couple weeks ago, but you know, we never gave up. We got a lap down there, and the pit crew did a great job of getting us out first. And this car liked clean air, but it didn't like being in the back of the pack. So you know, we just ran hard there and got our lap back and got the spots we needed to stay ahead of Mark. So just really happy. This team deserves this. I mean, Greg Zipadelli, I don't even know where my crew chief is.
They're all in here somewhere, I guarantee you.
I can't find my crew chief, but he's the one that's responsible for all this. That and this man right here.
Jimmy Maycar is the man he's talking about. Here comes Greg Zipadelli making his way through the crowd. How concerned were you two at a point in the race when you fell off the lead lap and the car was not running that well?
I mean, we were struggling there. You know, we've always ran so good here. I mean, that's why it was such a surprise that the car went off like it did. But, you know, the changes we made didn't do it by any means. Just, I don't know if it was just the cooler conditions or what, but the car didn't drive like it did yesterday by any means. We weren't terrible the first run. We were a little too tight, and we had made a change to tighten it up. And, you know, we had those 2 green flag stretches there that got us a lap down, and just had to come in and try to work on the thing. And luckily we got some big changes. I mean, Zippy really made some aggressive changes to fix the thing. And I was so nervous I couldn't tell him what to do to fix it. I could just say, this is what it's doing. So he made a change, and we got out there and got into front of the pack again, and got our lap back, and then it took a little bit of the pressure off. We were able to race the guys on the lead lap ahead of us, and knew there were only 21 guys on the lead lap, so it just made the last 31 a little easier, but it wasn't a piece of cake by any means.
Well, there's a huge presentation to come for Tony Stewart, Greg Zipadelli, and their entire team, and we'll have that momentarily. Right now, let's check in back in the garage area with Marty Snyder.
Orange is the color of the day here at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Tony Stewart has locked up the NASCAR Winston Cup Series Championship for Home Depot and for Joe Gibbs Racing in Pontiac. The trophy presentation when we come back.
Welcome back to the Homestead Miami Speedway. The celebration continues, and now the official presentation of the 2002 Winston Cup to the new champion, Tony Stewart. Here is the president of NASCAR, Mike Helton.
Tony, on behalf of everybody from NASCAR, congratulations, pal. You and the Home Depot team did a great job this year. You've earned it. The pressure's off. Enjoy it now.
And now Andy Schindler, the chairman and CEO of the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company.
Tony, congratulations to you, to your great crew chief, Greg, Joe Gibbs Racing, and the entire number 20 Home Depot Pontiac team. You guys had an outstanding year. In recognition that year, I want to formally present you the trophy as the champion for the 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. Way to go, buddy.
You want to hold that up for everybody out there to see it one time? Here's your champion, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Stewart. Amazing season concludes with a championship for Tony Stewart, and he'll hand off the trophy. And now as he takes off his jacket, because he doesn't really need that here. Tony, you are the new champion, and here comes the big celebration. Before you pop that, come on out here. I just got one question for you, Tony. I know you want to celebrate with your guys. You're the new champion. Are you ready to be the leader of this sport?
Well, I don't know if I'm qualified to be a leader of this sport, but, you know, guys like Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt are what made this sport what it is, and all we can do is just do the best we can. I mean, this is a tough series, but, you know, the greatest thing was coming down pit lane there and seeing my peers and from different teams and, you know, different car owners and drivers and crews, just they're what make this series what it is. I'm not going to change anything, and I'm not going to try to, but, you know, I'm not the leader of this sport. Everyone in this garage area does their part, and, you know, everybody at NASCAR does a great job of making sure that the playing field's level for us, and that, you know, that we're able to do what we do each week. But, you know, these crews and their families are the ones that sacrifice their energy and time to do all this, and, you know, it's not me, it's all of us. We're all doing this together.
You've got a big night in New York coming. We'll see you there.
Can't wait.
That's Tony Stewart, the 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup champion. Other drivers have won championships at young ages and gone on to lead this sport to its future. The next new champion expected to do that is Tony Stewart. Alan Bestwick.
Bill, thank you. And so it's over. The 2002 NASCAR Winston Cup season that's been very exciting. 18 different winners. And thankfully, it's been very safe as well. Action that started some 10 months ago in the middle of February when Ward Burton won the Daytona 500 concludes here today with Tony Stewart being crowned the 25th champion in NASCAR's 54-year history. Memories of the season are many. Sterling Marlin tugging the fender at Daytona. The Rusty Wallace, Jeff Gordon bump and run at Bristol. and today's tense moments as Stewart tried to lock up the championship. It's been a great ride. The Fox boys take over at February. We've had a ball and hope you'll see us again next July when NASCAR on NBC returns from Daytona Beach, Florida. For Benny Parsons, Wally Dallenbach, Bill Weber, and our entire NASCAR on NBC crew, I'm Alan Bestwick. Thanks for watching. You've been watching NASCAR on NBC.